There wouldn't be any ring
There
girls.
won't be any. I went back to see the Amir Khan fight with
Billy
Billy
Dib?
Dib. Yeah, because that
Yeah.
one was in Saudi Arabia. So I was like,
There
I
wasn't.
went back to, I was like, okay, let me just see how.
Yeah.
No ring girls. No ring girls. Just like the camera just zooms through their corners when they're fighting, and
Yeah.
that's it. The ring was huge though for that
Yeah.
fight.
I know.
Did you
I
see
saw
that?
that. What
I was
the hell
like,
was
God.
that?
I haven't watched it. Maybe we'll pull it up in a bit.
Yeah,
We do have a lot to talk about. We're just going to get into a phone call real quick. But that is very interesting. I think I have a lot to say about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. Because even alcohol is not allowed in
Yes.
Saudi Arabia.
Like,
You know?
Yeah, they say that you can't drink.
wonder
out there.
Mexicans
They're like
won't come.
Mexicans.
But
Yeah, that's what I said. Like,
But that's
no
why I like
Mexicans
it that
drink.
it's in this foreign country that nobody knows nothing about. Because I'm sure it's going to spread a lot of awareness about that country, right? And then the World Cup is in Qatar, too.
Yeah.
And I've heard they're
Yeah.
going to be pretty lenient with all the tourists going there and with all the laws and stuff. But you never know, dude.
Yeah, you never know.
So I'm going to have on the phone co-founder of Break Media Inc. His name is Jay. I'm going to call him in a bit. Well, you guys want to continue that conversation?
Yeah, with yeah, it's gonna be interesting. With it being out there, they say like I see a lot of people commenting it's gonna be hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, how are these guys gonna do it? But
Yeah. Actually, no, because it's December.
I read it's
I read that the average temperature is like 70s highest and 40 lowest.
yeah.
Hey, Jay, we're on air right now. I'm going to just go ahead and... I already introduced you. We'll introduce you to the listeners. Ready? All right, so we have Jay on the line. I kind of introduced you guys a little bit. But Jay, how's it going?
Good, boys. What's going on?
It's all good. We're talking about the Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua rematch that we just heard about.
Oh, man. That's going to be a good one. You know, it's on home turf. It's on Saudi grounds now, homie.
Yeah. You want to give your opinion on that real quick?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it really depends on what Anthony's mental state is, you know what I mean? Because after that last fight, and this was like the narrative that was going on, a lot of people didn't even think that was him in the ring, you know, mentally, you know what I mean? And then I just think that if he can get over that mental fucking block that just is the monster of Andy Ruiz in his head, because I'm pretty sure he's having nightmares about that knockout, he can overcome it for sure. Because there's nobody better than a fighter who can get over a knockout. You know what I mean? So if he can get over that hump, and it's on neutral grounds, he's loved in Saudi Arabia, by the way. I think the Saudi fans get this guy a lot of credibility because he's so known from Dubai and Bahrain and all the associated countries that come with it. So it's going to be a bit not harder on Ruiz to kind of get to business, but it is going to make it more of the A side for Joshua for sure. What do you guys think?
No,
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, to me, I honestly think the pressure is on Joshua still, because I mean, Reese is one fight up, and a lot of people are talking about that this could be a rubber match, but I'm like, it's not happening if Joshua gets knocked out or gets beat decisively. So I think a lot of pressure is on Joshua, of course, that he doesn't have to worry about that undefeated streak no more. We talked a little bit about that in our last podcast, where at least that pressure of maintaining that it's gone, so he's a little bit more relaxed now. But yeah, definitely.
I think so too, but I still think I don't think he's an egotistical fighter, like as much as like a Deontay Wilder would be, or like a Tyson Fury would be. Joshua doesn't seem to me at least, to be an egotistical fighter, but that being gone really did get to him for sure in one way or another. You know, for like an athlete of that, like stature, to have that kind of credibility with brands and sponsors who are kind of backing this guy, I did think it kind of like got to him, but it sure as hell didn't get to the fans. I mean, the fans don't really care at all, but I think it hit him personally. Once again, it depends on his mental fortitude going into this fight. If he can really get over that hump, that the O's gone, like you said, and just be relaxed, then yeah, he does have that advantage for sure.
Yeah, so real quick, you mentioned media, right? Before we get into that real quick, I want to ask you, I like asking people this question. What percentage chance did you give Andy Ruiz in that first fight before going into the fight, in terms of percentage?
You know what's funny? I was keeping my mouth shut about this, and I was going to tweet it, but then I told myself, don't do it in case you look really stupid. But I was like, I think this guy has a shot, because I think it was like the last 2 days, right before the weigh-in, I was sent this link on WhatsApp from my friends, like, look how fast this guy is, and he was hitting the bag fast, Andy. And I kind of told myself, like, I think this guy has a shot. And then I'm like, Jay, who are you kidding? You know, just like everybody else, I was giving him like a 15% chance of a lucky shot. That was what I was giving him, like an overhand right that might just catch him on the chin. But for him to dominate the way he did, going into the fight number 2, I'm giving him the leverage for sure, 80-20.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, so let's let the listeners know a little bit. What's your full name? Where are you from? And what do you do?
Yeah, man. So, the buzz has started, and I guess that there's a lot of key people in the industry who know what's going on now. Break Media Group is officially picking up everybody's favorite fighter. We're signing them on board to our club. We got about 30-plus fighters signed up to the system already, and it's just been a really, really great experience for me, seeing how much feedback we're getting, not just from fighters, but from promotional companies and networks. And what is Break Media? We're a new age sports agency just designed to facilitate a fighter's mass fan base appeal. So as you know, like, we live in a day and age now where everybody's on their phones. YouTubers are being way more populated online than celebrities are who are in Hollywood films. And we've seen the change in audiences' attention. And because we see that change, we feel like we need to start adapting. The same thing that the NBA, the NHL, the NFL is doing, we need to start adapting that in boxing, which is creating, unique pieces of content for their athletes. Boxing never had that organization. Boxing has never had a sports agency to come in and do that. It's always just been the fighter himself doing his own promotion on his Instagram or Twitter, and that's it. He gets lucky, and if he doesn't get lucky, fuck off. So we're coming in, we're changing the game. Each one of our fighters will be facilitated with a full-out YouTube series or IGTV series, and we're going to send them to the mass fan base. So our philosophy is pretty simple. We want to change the way that fans see boxing one fighter at a time.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because we talk about that quite a bit. And your partner, I believe, Ryan, he sent me an article. Yeah. I think you mentioned Deontay Wilder as a good example, right? The world heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Deontay Wilder, that's one of my main punchlines. I say, look at guys like Anthony Joshua. I mean, if you look at the heavyweight division, right? Like, Canelo is marketed as the gorgeous redhead fighter from Mexico. He's backed by brands like Tecate. He's always in commercial. He's always shaking his ass to salsa music on ads. You know what I mean? And then we have Anthony Joshua. He's obviously backed by bigger brands like Under Armour, Williams-Sonoma. He has Emirates Airline. And then you have Deontay Wilder, who's not even a friggin' Juicy Fruit commercial. So I've always found that interesting, that the heavyweight champion of the WBC heavyweight champion of the world here at home, he's not even liked by the fans, A, and B, he's not doing anything to change that. And it's been really interesting to me.
Yeah, I had been thinking about that recently because his record is, 41-0, right? 40 knockouts? Yeah. Right, I'm going to repeat that. 41-0, 40 knockouts. Mike Tyson didn't even get to 40 fights undefeated, right? I think he got to 37 before he lost to Buster Douglas. And, I mean, by that time, he was already a pay-per-view star, an A-list celebrity, and he still is, really. I think more people watch his podcast than Deontay Wilder fights. Yeah. But, no, I definitely noticed that. Why do you think that is, though?
Yeah. Why do I think Mike Tyson still has a very high notoriety compared to Deontay Wilder?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think just because Mike Tyson was smart enough to engage with this audience. If you've noticed, Mike Tyson's career is pretty interesting because, he was considered the most, lethal weapon, you know what I mean? During his prime, everybody was shit scared of him, and now all of a sudden he's the most beloved fighter of all time. Next to Muhammad Ali, there's Mike Tyson. I'm talking about the most beloved fighters, you know what I mean? And if you think about why he was able to do that, is because he was able to strip away the fighter mentality and humanize himself with his audiences, which is why he started collaborating with YouTubers. Like, have you seen these videos of him with Rudy Mansuko, with all the YouTubers online? He does a lot of that stuff. And now you're right, he started the whole podcast, and he's able to let himself go and humanize himself with the fans. And this is why, till this day, he's a lot more relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I think he got 500,000 YouTube subscribers within 2 or 3 months from starting this podcast, which is pretty crazy. But
because he dedicates himself to the market, he knows that this is what's going on. This is what's making people relevant, and in order for me to stay relevant, I got to do this. Otherwise, he was on the verge of becoming bankrupt again. And he was able to change that about himself, and just, like I said, just start engaging with the fans. And you know what's so interesting? You'd figure a guy like Mike Tyson, his fan base would only be people from his era. right? You figure that much, but it's not. There's 14, 15, 16-year-old kids who are subscribed to his channels and just want to watch Mike Tyson smoke a blunt with Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
He was able to monetize and think about that from a very, very unique and youthful perspective.
Yeah. So what are some of the? Of course, you don't give us all the secrets, but what are some of the strategies that you guys want to implement to, get these guys more exposure?
I mean, I think the formula is already there. We've seen it done in NBA. We've seen it done in NHL. We've seen it done in NFL, which is build brands offline. Like out of the rings, what I meant by offline, where take the fighter out of his comfort zone, whether it's off the field and out of the rings, and put him into the homes of millions. Now, before, when people used to use that term, put him into the homes of millions, it used to mean TV, but now TV means YouTube. So take advantage of these platforms that we're given through Instagram, through Twitter, through YouTube, and create unique pieces of content that's going to actually appeal to the masses. Boxing fans aren't the masses. You know that, right? So it's like, I get fed up talking online with all these boxing pundits who think they know best. You're not the fucking mass fan base. You're just a hardcore boxing fan. The mass fan base sits there on YouTube. They're the 14 to 17, 18, 19-year-old demographic who are watching cooking shows, travel shows, adventure shows, vloggers. That's the masses. That's what you guys have tens of millions of views compared to a couple of 100,000 off a fight. You know what I mean? So in order to cater to that demographic, you have to start, once again, humanizing these fighters, which is we get the background on the fighter, we find out what they're passionate and really advocating about outside their career, and we start building series around that perspective. And of course, part of our initiative is just to get sponsors to back the series as well. So there's money in this for fighters as well. It's not just creating unique piece of YouTube content. You're actually building long-lasting relationships with brands and sponsors who you might not otherwise ever get exposed to if you just stick to what you're doing now. And don't get me wrong, I mean, it's nice to have a fucking good record, but once you lose a couple of times, you're irrelevant.
At least in today's era, right? I think back then it used to be a little different. Like, you had guys like Oscar De La Hoya losing 5-6 fights, but he was still making a lot of money. But
yeah, dude. I mean, but back then it was different, right? Back then it was so cool to lose to your second favorite fighter. Versus now it's like, oh, you lost? I'm not really fucking with you anymore. Like Anthony Joshua. How many people hopped off the bandwagon when he lost?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable when I saw it. I was like, holy shit, there's so many inside haters, who just really want to see this guy lose. But back then it was cool to lose, you know what I mean? When Ali and Frazier went back-to-back, the trilogy was awesome to see. The best of the best fought each other back then, and it was cool. Now it's not cool.
Yeah, and I also find it shocking that we say, oh, it was different back then, but guess what? Those guys didn't even have internet access, right, to promote themselves. I feel like everybody does it nowadays, and I think even Andy Ruiz is a good example. This guy became more relevant than Deontay Wilder overnight, right, with one win.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of other factors around the win with Andy Ruiz. I mean, one of the first tweets that came out, no offense when I say this, because I love that guy, one of the first tweets that came out, like, so if a fat guy could do this, I'm no longer working out. And that gave a lot of motivation to the general mass public. Like, yo, this average, big-looking guy who's not athletic by any means beat the world heavyweight champion who looks like he's a fucking Greek goddess, So that gave a lot of, notoriety to Andy. And so he ran with that. And then followed by the tweets that came after that were obviously all about Snickers, which was really cool to see there, too.
All right, we're going to let you go in a bit. I understand that you're busy. So is there any last stuff that you want to say to all the boxing fans? Where can we follow you?
To all the listeners, just, support the movement. We're obviously here. We put the athlete. I mean, we're not in the business to just get our name out there. Our business is get our fighter's name out there. And, we're doing this one fighter at a time. So whoever your favorite fighter is, DM us. Let us know who you want to see more of. And we'll get to work, and we'll make sure that the fans stay happy. Yeah,
we're looking forward to having you guys in the studio. Hopefully sometimes you guys can come down here to LA.
For sure, bro. We got an LA trip coming out, Ryan and I, in the future, so we're definitely going to hit you boys up.
Hey.
Nice. All right, and where can we find you, lastly?
Breakmediagroup.com, and you can hit me up at producer_JC on Twitter or Instagram.
All right, man. Appreciate your time.
Hey.
We'll keep in touch.
Thank you, brother. All right.
Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Have a good one, bro. Later.
That was that.
Yeah, no,
interesting.
Interesting stuff. No, yeah, he's talking about obviously pushing that a boxer's brand, and how we're no longer in the age of television, but the age of where people tuning to see what they want to see on their own terms, their own times, and that makes a lot of sense. And we talked a lot about, remember the American fighters, like who is the face of boxing?
Yeah.
And we talked about how come no one's filling in that 4th of July weekend. Yeah, there was a bunch of other excuses that we said, but I was like, but at the same time, you could do something big, promote yourself, something connecting to the 4th of July weekend. I don't know, maybe like a short video, meme, something
Yeah,
that
popping a
pushes your-
firework.
Yeah.
Like one of those safe ones so people won't give you shit, right? Just
Because
look-
if anything, like just a little sparkler. Like,
Yeah. So
Michael, you already know I said I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.